Hi guys, Sci-Fi Recapped here. Today I am going to explain the film called Countdown. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and stay safe. The movie begins with a few teenagers sitting around a table at a house party. One of the girls takes out her phone and shows the group an app. However, when another girl tries to find the same app, she comes across a different one with a similar title named Countdown. She then reads the description of the app, which states that it can tell the exact time of a person's death down to the last second. So, the group decides to turn the app into a drinking game where one girl named Courtney is reluctant. However, when everyone insists, she hesitantly downloads the app and accepts the terms and conditions. Afterwards, everyone in the group gets roughly 70 years except Courtney, who has only 3 hours to live. But none of them take it seriously and make her drink all the beer as per the game's rules. Just then, her boyfriend Evan shows up and helps her with the drinks. A while later, as she leaves the party, it's clear that Evan insists on driving home even though he is drunk. So, she gets out of the car and walks alone while Evan drives off. She then gets a message from the app saying she has broken the user agreement. As she walks, she notices a figure following her from behind and walks faster. The app then makes a sound and tells her that she has no more than 2 minutes to live. Terrified, she switches off the phone and runs into the house. Courtney heads straight to the bathroom to calm herself, but things get even weirder. She hears a curtain movie, and when she turns around, an unseen force takes a hold of her and hurls her up towards the ceiling. Courtney is then dropped on the bathroom floor, breaking her head. Meanwhile, Evan is in a car accident where the seat in which Courtney was supposed to be is impaled by a tree log. The scene then cuts to a hospital where we can see a nurse named Quinn delivering food to patients. She then finds a patient in a closed-off section of the hospital, and it's revealed to be Evan. So, Quinn sits with him and tries to relax him for his surgery the next day. Evan shows and explains to Quinn what the Countdown app is, which says that he has only 19 hours left to live. He also tells her about his girlfriend Courtney and how she died. This makes him believe that he will also die within the given time, which happens to be when his surgery will take place. However, Quinn calms him down and tells him not to worry about the app and convinces him to go back to his room. On the way back, she bumps into Amy, a senior nurse, who asks Quinn to come with her. The hospital staff then surprise her with a cake, as it turns out that she is now a registered nurse. Later, Quinn gets a notification on her phone which turns out to be an ad for the Countdown app. So, she downloads the app and agrees to the terms and conditions, which mentions that she has only 2 days left to live. Inside the lift, Quinn's colleague, Dr. Sullivan, starts to flirt with her, but she lets him off easy. The same night, Quinn has trouble completing her nursing documents and calls her friend Scott for help, who tells her that she needs a birth certificate to fill out the form. The scene then cuts to Quinn going to her parents' house to retrieve her birth certificate and finds it in her late mother's room. Just then, she hears a sudden noise from the closet, and when she goes to inspect, she finds her little sister Jordan hiding with her boyfriend. The guy immediately leaves while Quinn says that she shouldn't do stuff like this. This makes Jordan angry as her sister doesn't come around to visit after the death of their mother. After she storms away, Quinn is greeted by her father. He inquires if she wants to come and visit their mother's grave sometime, to which she obliges. The following day, Evan is being prepared for his surgery, but he is reluctant as the app says that he has only 3 minutes left. So, he ditches his surgery and leaves the room, after which he gets a notification from the app saying that he has broken the user agreement. He then sees a black tall figure behind him in the mirror, but doesn't find anyone there in real time. The deathly figure then follows him to a dark staircase. All of a sudden, Evan uses the flashlight on his phone and looks up where he sees a figure in Courtney's clothes. It grabs him and chucks him down the staircase, right as the countdown reaches 0. Shortly after, Quinn arrives at work where Amy informs her about the incident, disturbing her. So, to get more information, Quinn steals Evan's phone but realizes that she needs a fingerprint to unlock it. Left with no option, she heads to the hospital mortuary. There, she tries to use Evan's finger, but it doesn't work. Hence, she opens his eyes and finally opens the phone using face recognition. As Quinn goes through his phone, she notices the countdown, which has reached 0. Later, Quinn realizes that her countdown time is at the same hour she will meet her dad and Jordan to go to her mother's grave. So, she calls her dad and immediately cancels her plans. As expected, the app says that she has broken the user agreement, and suddenly, she sees a dark figure in the room. Quinn becomes terrified, but fortunately, it is only Dr. Sullivan, who asks her help with a patient. However, Quinn ignores him and leaves. The same night, Quinn isn't able to delete the app and surfs the internet for solutions. She comes across different cases about the Countdown app, which disturbs her. So, she closes her laptop and suddenly sees a terrifying dead Evan on her bed. Fed up, she throws her phone to the ground, breaking it, but somehow it still shows the countdown. Terrified to sleep inside, Quinn enters her car and falls asleep. In the morning, Jordan wakes her up from outside and the two of them go to Quinn's apartment. Her sister finds the broken phone, seeing the countdown app which says that she has only 1 day to live. Jordan wants to spend some time with her sister, but when Quinn refuses, stating that it isn't safe, she gets angry and storms off. Later, Quinn goes to an electronics shop and buys a new phone. She checks to see if the app is there and is relieved to find that it isn't. However, when she is about to leave, she gets a notification from the countdown app on her new phone. She frantically asks the shopkeeper to delete the app, but he is unable to do so. Frustrated, she leaves the shop and gets in her car while a customer from the store named Matt asks the shopkeeper about the app Quinn was talking about. Meanwhile, as she is driving, Quinn suddenly sees a dark figure, causing her to ram her vehicle into another. Matt then comes outside and shows her his countdown app. It turns out he is also experiencing similar things. To discuss it further, the two enter a bar and think of a way to read the terms and conditions of the app. So, Matt convinces a delusional guy to download the app and they go over to him. When he reaches the terms and conditions page, Quinn starts reading them. It states that the players have to accept their fate. Thinking that demons are involved, the two go to the hospital to talk to the priest. However, he tells them to visit someone much more qualified and give them his address. As they are about to leave, Quinn is called by Amy while Matt goes to the bathroom. He then sees a barefoot child from beneath the stall and asks him to go to another stall. Afterwards, as he washes his hands, he hears someone crying in one of the stalls and sees the kid again. Shortly after, the kid attacks Matt as the lights go off and it disappears when another person walks in the room. Meanwhile, Amy takes Quinn to a meeting with the HR along with Dr. Sullivan. It turns out that Sullivan lied to the HR, saying that it was actually Quinn who attacked him while working. The HR department then proceeds to suspend Quinn, which infuriates her, and storms off. Meanwhile, Matt seems distraught and keeps hearing the voice of the thing that attacked him. Shortly after, they arrive at a church and look for the man that the priest pointed them towards. After hearing them out, the priest recalls an ancient story, and to get a better idea of how the app works, he tells them to find someone to hack the app for them to look at the code. So, the two go to the mobile shop and ask the shopkeeper Derek for help. Derek also finds the countdown clocks for all the users, including his own, and changes the parameters, increasing his life. It's then revealed that Jordan has also downloaded the app, and so they change all of their parameters, increasing their countdown clock, including Jordan's. But as she uses her phone while eating, her babysitter confiscates it. Meanwhile, Matt and Quinn thank Derek for his help, and afterwards she asks Matt to stay with her that night. After reaching home, the two have a short conversation and fall asleep. At midnight, Quinn suddenly wakes up after hearing something outside the room. However, it turns out that Matt is the one outside, meaning the person in bed with her is the demon. She freaks out, and when Matt takes off the bed sheets, the demon disappears. Unfortunately, both Matt's and Quinn's countdown goes back to the original number. Worried, she calls Jordan but is unaware about her phone not being with her. Meanwhile, Jordan hears her phone ring in the babysitter's room and goes to get it. Suddenly, the lights start to flicker and she hears her dead mom talking. In the very next second, the woman appears. Luckily, Quinn and Matt arrive in the nick of time and rescue Jordan. After this, the trio head to the priest. There, he deduces from the app code that a curse has been put on them. The priest then explains that in order to lift the curse, someone with the countdown app has to either die early or alive longer than the countdown. So, they naturally choose the latter option, and the priest blesses some salt before making a holy circle to keep them safe from the demons. After the circle is complete, Matt finds out he has only 2 minutes left on the clock, and steps aside for a second. Quinn accompanies him where one thing leads to another and the two share an emotional kiss. All of a sudden, the lights go out and all of them rush inside the circle. The demon appears shortly after, and as planned, it cannot enter the circle. Suddenly, Matt's phone starts to blare and he begins to see visions of his young dead brother who lures him out of the circle. The demon then immediately pulls him outside the building, and Quinn runs after him. But when the two reunite, Matt is abruptly run over by a car and is killed. She later finds that Jordan is bleeding and rushes her to the hospital. There, Quinn is approached by another nurse who reveals that she, too, is a victim of Dr. Sullivan's abuse. So, Quinn thinks of killing him as he too has the countdown app, which will hopefully lift the curse. Later, she manages to seduce him in his office and tells him to follow her to the closed section of the hospital. There, she attempts to inject Sullivan with a ton of morphine, but is stopped by Jordan, who comes looking for her. Suddenly, the doctor is dragged away by the demon to stop Quinn from killing him. So, she goes after the doctor while Jordan checks her phone, which reveals that she has only 2 minutes left to live. Meanwhile, Quinn finds Sullivan and is about to attack him, but the demon pushes her away, allowing the doctor to escape. After a while, the demon starts chasing after Jordan. Just as her time is about to end, Quinn confronts it with a syringe pushed against her skin. The demon impersonates her dead mother, but Quinn is not fazed, and she injects herself with the morphine. As a result, Quinn dies before Jordan's time is up, vanquishing the demon once and for all. Jordan rushes to Quinn's dead body and surprisingly finds a drug written on her arm with a bottle and syringe in her pocket. So, Jordan uses the syringe and injects it into her arm, bringing her back to life. The scene then cuts to some time in the future where Quinn, Jordan, and her dad pay respects to their mother's grave. As they're about to leave, Quinn gets a notification which says that the new version of the Countdown app has been installed. Subscribe and hit that like button to help our channel grow. Turn the notifications on so you won't miss any of our new videos. Thanks for watching.